Welcome to this week's podcast. My name is Paul Fletcher, and I am your host of The Healing Source. We are in series number 4, and this is podcast number 4. And this podcast, we're focusing on the connection of the heart chakra and its association and connection to relationships. There is a tremendous amount uh, of information about the heart chakra, and there is a lot of information about relationships, but rarely do we find information that connects the two. And I'm going to share with you today some insights about the connectivity between the two of these. I can tell you from personal experience, having worked with literally hundreds of students, the majority of them being women who have had broken hearts. They have had failed relationship after failed relationship. They are distant from the source. They have huge self-love blockages. Many of the people that I consult with have had major issues with their parents, with their mothers or fathers. Some of them have major issues with their children. Their heart is broken because they take care of that child their whole life, and then there is a disconnect. Something happens later on in life where they just go different directions, and it brings great pain to that parent's heart. So there are many different ways in which the heart, or in this case the heart chakra, can be harmed. The heart chakra, for anybody who is new, is not just a cute word. It is an actual aspect of your physicalness. Although you cannot see it, if you were to do surgery and cut open a human body, it is more real than your human body. You see, we are a soul first, having a physical experience. And your soul lives forever, you do not. Because your soul lives forever, it carries with it every experience of every lifetime. And many of those experiences impact the energy body. Your energy body is your soul's body. And since your soul lives forever, it carries all the frequency and vibration on its energy body. When you come into this physical life, you are animated by your source creator. But how does that life force, frequency, and vibration get into your physical body? It enters your physical body through what is called your chakra system. You have 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is at the top of your head. Your 4th chakra is your heart chakra. Your heart chakra, heart center, is literally your antenna directly to the source. It is like having a satellite dish directly to your source creator, right in the center of your chest. Now, if I came along and I started spraying paint all over your satellite dish, throwing mud on your satellite dish, I walk up with a hammer and I bang on that antenna, bend it or break that antenna, then your connection to the source will be dramatically reduced. Your belief of being alone by yourself will be significantly enhanced. Your ability to feel suffering, depression, grief, and sadness becomes more predominant in your life the more clutter that occurs on this satellite dish called your heart center or your heart chakra. You see, heaven and earth are the father and the mother respectively, and they animate us through this channel. There's literally at all times a channel of light running through your soul, whether you are incarnate now or you are in the soul form. There is always light running through you because you are animated by your source creator. And when you're on this physical plane experience, that light comes through your channel all the way down to your heart center and then down to your first chakra. The light from Mother Earth goes up to your first chakra and up to your heart and up to your head. This area in the Tao Wisdom teachings is called the message center. This is where we receive all of our intuitional messages. This is where we receive messages from our soul, guides, angels, and saints, and of course, our source. If this area is uncluttered, then the purity of the message can be significantly enhanced. If this area is cluttered, then we can receive impure messages, false messages, or we simply have no ability to receive messages that we trust, and therefore we default to our monkey mind's guidance, which is a big mistake. Big problems can occur when we only listen to our monkey mind. So now that you understand the importance of the heart chakra, let's tie that into relationships. Relationships come in all forms, shapes, and sizes. We have the relationship with ourself. We have the relationship with direct family members. We have relationships with friends, coworkers, and then the bubble gets wider. Generally speaking, we have 10 close relationships, including your family members, and then into the friends, okay? If we do not have relationship, then we are completely and entirely by ourselves. And most people do not enjoy being completely and entirely by themselves, because when that occurs, they're with their mind. They're usually not with their heart. The few exceptions are those that want to go live in the mountains to become enlightened. Then being alone by yourself and going into your heart can bring enlightenment. Why? Because the heart is the pathway, the tunnel of the heart to the source. Okay? When that tunnel receives damage or debris or any form of a expected or unexpected traumatic condition, memory, experience, then what that is like the visual I gave you earlier. It's like somebody throwing mud on your receiver. It's like somebody covering the lens of your life. Okay? You cannot drive very far down a road if there's a lot of mud on your windshield. You're going to have to clean that off, or you're going to run into things and be very, very unhappy. Relationships in this human experience are virtually unavoidable, with few exceptions. And because we all have them, we must work with them in a way that honors our connection to the source and honors our connection to ourselves. First and foremost, if you are not loving, honoring, and respecting yourself, that is the biggest heart center blockage. If you cannot fix that blockage, then what happens is the lens that you are looking through will attract to you partners or parents, coworkers, whatever it might be, that create more problems for you. When we have self-love issues, low self-esteem, etc., we can say it's because of our parents. We can say it's because of them outside of you, but ultimately, it's still your problem to fix. How it got there could have been that you caused others to have low self-esteem. Could have been that you caused others to move away from the source. Hard to say how it got there. You might have to get an Akashic record reading to find the root cause. But the solutions remain the same. You want to be able to clearly recognize that a closed heart center, whether it's through a trauma, through a negative experience or through your own upbringing that might have contributed to low self-esteem, etc., the end result is a heart center that is not operating at its peak efficiency. And that means that the quality of your relationships could be significantly negatively impacted. Now, that might be a big duh. That might be a big aha moment for you. Either way, you should get some value from that understanding. Now let's find out how we can blend these two pieces of information. Your heart chakra cannot be healed by waving a pink crystal in front of it or hanging one from a chain over your heart center and say, I'm good to go. I saw my friend over here at the rock shop and they waved a crystal heart and crystal pink quartz in front of me. And they said it cleared my heart chakra. I'm good. Yeah, that's not how it works. Because the very next day, when you're on the phone with that parent that is not so kind, not so loving, a little bit aggressive, and maybe some verbally abusive, what does that do to your heart center? So you'll come to discover that the heart chakra is very much like your lungs. It can open and take in a deep breath, or it can close and be out of breath. And it's a constant of working consciously, purposefully to keep it open. All we have to do is look at the great beings of love and light before us. You have Krishna, you have Jesus, you have Buddha, you have so many other beings of love and light that have blazed the trail of very high, pure compassion. Right? Kuan Yin Buddha, one of the most compassionate. And that kind of an open heart is so pure that there is zero distinction. They will help the vagrant on the street is equal to the regular person in humanity that just minding their own business, doing the best they can. They will help Hitler. The Buddha will help all three of them equal because the heart is fully open. Like the source creator's heart is fully open, they do not see distinction. The source does not say, I love my left arm where Hitler is, but I hate my left arm where Hitler is, but I love my right arm, which is another creation. I created both of them, and I don't like this one, but I like this one. That's not how the source operates. The source is unconditional love. So whether your mind wants to think these things, that's fine. Now, it doesn't mean that someone that does something horrible is not going to experience horrible things in return. They will. But the source still loves them unconditionally. And that means you are also loved unconditionally. There is not a single thing in all creation, in your entire life, in all of your memories that you currently have, that can be deemed inappropriate or wrong by your source creator. It's not possible. It's just not how the source is built. And you are built from the same source. The source does not say, I like Bob, but I don't like you. It's not how the source works. The source does not judge. If you came up in a belief system that says the source judges, know the truth. The truth is that was written by a human being a minimum of 500 years later. That's the truth. Do your own homework. And so all of those documentations out there that cause you to feel less than pure and aligned to the source are false. And if you have accepted that and it has minimized your ability to align to your source creator with the pure and conditional love that your source has for you, then this is one of the ways our heart can be closed. Self-love is amongst the most important attributes you can bring into your life. Now, I do not feel like I had self-love issues, but I recognized that my heart was not open. And when I asked and read books about how to open your heart to the source, I didn't receive very many good answers, to be perfectly honest. And I read a lot of books. None of them really gave me anything more than mind-based material, maybe a few mantras and some positive affirmations. That's not going to work, guys. Trauma is trauma. Negative experience is negative experience. You cannot just wash it away with a positive affirmation. or saying, I'm a good person, I'm a good person, I'm a good person. That's not going to wash it away. As has been stated many times before, if you had a trauma, if you had a negative experience, if you have low self-esteem, whatever has contributed to your heart chakra being less than fully open was already on your vibration. And the times that it wasn't, and it just happened to you, which does occur. Sometimes we walk into unpleasant environments, we have a traumatic experience, and it was a first-time experience. Everything has to have a first time. Most of the things that come into our life, it's not the first time. So that's why these wisdoms of Tao healing continues to work, because it acknowledges that I'm not going to try to solve it with my mind. I'm not going to try to solve it with a positive statement when my mind actually denies that positive statement. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. No, you're not. You did this. You did that. Right? That's what the mind would say. So these kinds of approaches are not quite useless, but how have they worked for you so far? Check in with your heart center. Do you still have depression? Do you still have anxiety? Do you still have these other unpleasant conditions? The level of success is dependent upon your willingness to surround yourself with a higher frequency and vibration of the source. Now, is Jesus from the source? Yes. What about Buddha? Yes. What about Krishna? Yes. What about the others? Yes. If they are a very well-respected being of love and light, have a history of serving, they are carrying a higher frequency than you and me. So one of the simple things you can do is simply repeat that deity's name. You can repeat, God's light. That's a very powerful mantra. That's not just repeating words. You connect. You say, dear my source creator, I am one with you. You are one with me, but I have wandered. I have accepted false information as real. I know that you love me unconditionally, but I feel so distant from that. I've had this and this and that occurrence, and it's blocked my heart. I've had this and this and that trauma, and it's blocked my heart. Could you please bless me to open my heart? I will do a forgiveness practice around releasing this, because it's possible I have caused this same unpleasant trauma or experience to others. So I absolutely will do a forgiveness practice. And then as I chant, God's light, or Jesus, Jesus, or Namo Quan Shiryan Pusa, whatever being of love and light you connect with, as I chant that special mantra, I ask that being of love and light, I ask my source creator to help lift this negativity. Now, that is not a positive affirmation. That is not just words. Why? Because even though I'm saying all those words, I am giving you a toolkit for a higher, this is the key, for a higher positive frequency and vibration than where you're at. A typical mantra doesn't do that. A typical affirmation doesn't do that. Everything is just words unless you're working with higher positive frequency and vibration. So the Tao source calligraphies are an additional source of that higher positive frequency and vibration as well. I'm going to work with the source calligraphy of Da I, the greatest love, and we're going to do this practice together. Okay, so here we are. Let me bring this image up, and this is Da I, the greatest love. Again, for those that are listening on the podcast, simply connect, close your eyes, and feel the vibration coming to you. Those that are with me, repeat after me. Dear my beloved heart center, my heart chakra, dear my beloved soul, and dear all of my beloved heaven's teams, guides, angels, and saints, dear my source creator, I love you all. I honor you all. I bow my head with the deepest love and respect to all of you, and I'm deeply grateful for this opportunity of this heart-to-heart connection. I have experienced many unpleasant things in this life, traumas, breaking of vows, loss of love, So many unpleasant things. Now, this is a good time. You can state specific things, okay? I ask you, my beloved source creator, all the beings of love and light, again, right here, say the name of the Buddha or Jesus you resonate with, or Krishna, whoever. Ask them to come. I ask these beings of love and light to please bring your highest frequency and vibration. Bless me to open my heart, release this negativity. Continue, dear the soul of the source calligraphy of Da-I, the greatest love. As I chant God's light and as I trace you, please bring the highest frequency and vibration, love and light, and open my heart, releasing these negative messages. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do a quick forgiveness. Dear all humanity, all souls, I sincerely apologize my mistakes. I ask forgiveness on behalf of myself and my ancestors. Anything that I may have ever done in all time that has caused you to close your heart, if I have made vows of love, broken your heart, if I have created traumatic conditions, any form of abuse, harmed you, caused low self-esteem, anything that might have caused you to close your heart, I beg your forgiveness. I am not that kind of person now. I'm a very good person now. But this has been in my vibration. I wish to transform it. Please forgive me. I will not make the same mistakes again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I will chant with you, Da-I, greatest love. And as you trace, touch all 5 fingers together. Those on podcast, close your eyes and listen. Healing is coming to you. And again, if you're new to this, go out and buy any of Master Sha's newest books. He has Tao calligraphy in it, and he teaches you how to use it. And that is a source of constant availability of high frequency and vibration. Okay? Let us now start practicing. Da-I, 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 greatest love, 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 greatest love. Die, 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 die. Greatest love, greatest love, greatest love, greatest love. Da-I, greatest love, source calligraphy, melts all blockages. As I chant God's light, could you please continue to bless me, heal and transform my heart center blockages, open my heart. I'm deeply grateful. Thank you. God's light, 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 God's light. How, thank you, thank you, thank you. How means get well, perfect, good health. We say thank you 3 times to the source, to all the beings of love and light, to our own soul. So this completes today's podcast. We discussed opening the heart chakra, why it's so important in its connectivity to relationships, how these kinds of events, whether they are heart fulfilling or they hurt our heart, they can cause a major blockage, separating us not only from our own highest, best choices for our highest and best health and wellness, but from our source creator. If you want to heal your relationships, you must open your heart center first. You must have a consistent pattern of bringing positive frequency and vibration on a daily basis into your heart center, opening, healing, and releasing. Only then can you successfully hold on to it and grow it, and then start attracting to you healthy relationships in every aspect of your life. My name is Paul Fletcher. You can learn more. Go to my website, wellspringoflight.com. I have a course there, Heal Your Soul, Heal Your Relationships. Scroll down till you find it. It includes a free month in my membership. It includes a half-hour consultation. Collectively, there's $300 worth of value, and you save a bucket load more than that. Go to the website, and I will see you then. Until then, until next week, everyone, have an awesome day.